What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the words Bermuda Triangle? For most of us, it's a swirl of spooky stories, unexplained disappearances, and a deep sense of mystery. This infamous stretch of the North Atlantic Ocean, roughly bounded by Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico, has captured our collective imagination for decades. Ships vanishing without a trace, planes disappearing from radar screens, and rescue missions that also get lost. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, right? But what if I told you that behind all the Hollywood hype and sensationalism, there are real, documented cases that continue to baffle experts to this day? These aren't just legends whispered by sailors. They are official records of vanishings that have left families heartbroken and investigators scratching their heads. Today we're not just telling ghost stories. We're diving deep into the official reports and historical accounts of the most perplexing disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle. We'll separate fact from fiction and explore the chilling events that gave this patch of ocean its notorious reputation. So strap in and get ready, because we're about to navigate the strange and unsettling waters of the Bermuda Triangle. Let's travel back to December 5, 1945. World War II had just ended, and a sense of relief was in the air. At Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 5 experienced U.S. Navy pilots prepared for a routine training mission. Their task was to fly a squadron of TBM Avenger torpedo bombers, known as Flight 19, on a simple navigational exercise. They would fly east, conduct bombing runs, then turn north, and finally head back southwest to base. It was a triangular route they had flown many times before. The weather was clear, the planes were in perfect condition, and the pilots were some of the best. What could possibly go wrong? A little over an hour into the flight, the control tower received a disturbing transmission from the flight leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor. He sounded confused, disoriented. His compasses were malfunctioning. He said he couldn't see land and wasn't sure of his position. He thought they were over the Florida Keys, but that was impossible based on their flight plan. The control tower tried to guide them back, but the radio transmissions became increasingly faint and filled with static. Other pilots in the squadron could be heard getting anxious, their voices tinged with panic. They were lost. The last garbled message heard from Flight 19 was a desperate attempt to keep the squadron together as fuel ran low. And then silence. They had vanished from the sky. But the mystery of Flight 19 doesn't end there. As soon as contact was lost, the Navy launched one of the largest air and sea searches in history. A Martin Mariner flying boat, a massive search and rescue plane known as PBM-5 Buno 59225, was dispatched with a 13-man crew to find the missing bombers. It took off into the evening sky, joining the hunt. But shortly after takeoff, it too disappeared from radar. 20 minutes into its flight, a tanker ship off the coast of Florida reported seeing a massive explosion in the sky, followed by a column of fire on the water that burned for 10 minutes. The crew of the tanker rushed to the scene but found only an oil slick and debris. The Martin Mariner had exploded mid-air. These planes were notoriously known as flying gas tanks because of their tendency to accumulate gasoline vapors. A single spark could be catastrophic. So while the fate of the rescue plane was tragically clear, the 5 Avenger bombers and their 14 crew members were never seen again. Despite days of searching an area covering over 300,000 square miles of the Atlantic, not a single piece of wreckage, not a life raft, not a trace of Flight 19 was ever found. They had simply vanished. This single event is what truly cemented the legend of the Bermuda Triangle in the public consciousness. How could 5 military aircraft and a rescue plane disappear on the same day in the same area? The official Navy report was inconclusive, listing the cause as unknown. Now let's rewind the clock even further, long before Flight 19 put the triangle on the map. Let's go back to March 1918 during the height of World War I. The USS Cyclops, a colossal naval collier ship over 540 feet long, was tasked with a vital mission. It was transporting about 11,000 tons of manganese ore, a crucial material for munitions, from Brazil to Baltimore. With 306 crew members and passengers aboard, the Cyclops was a true behemoth of the sea. After a stop in Barbados, it set sail on March 4th for its final leg of the journey. It was never heard from again. No distress call was ever received. No wreckage was ever found. The ship, along with everyone on board, simply vanished. This remains the single largest loss of life in U.S. naval history not involving combat. The search was extensive, but the vast Atlantic offered no clues. Theories began to fly. Did it sink in a sudden violent storm? Possible, but no storm of that magnitude was reported in the area. Was it a victim of a German submarine or raider? The Germans were a formidable naval power, but after the war, they checked their records. They had no knowledge of an engagement with the Cyclops. Sabotage? Maybe, but there was no evidence to support it. The ship was known to have engine trouble and was carrying a very heavy, dense cargo, which could have made it unstable. President Woodrow Wilson himself said, "Only God and the sea know what happened to the great ship." To this day, the fate of the USS Cyclops and the 306 souls aboard remains one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. Fast forward to Christmas time, 1967. A Miami-based hotel owner named Dan Burak and his friend, Father Patrick Horgan, decided to take Burak's 23-foot luxury cabin cruiser, the Witchcraft, for a short trip. They just wanted to go about a mile offshore to enjoy the beautiful Christmas lights of the Miami shoreline. It was a calm, clear night. At around 9 p.m., Burak made a call to the Coast Guard. He wasn't in a panic. He calmly reported that his boat had hit something submerged, damaging his propeller, and he needed a tow back to the marina. He gave his exact location, just off buoy number 7. A Coast Guard cutter was dispatched immediately and arrived at the location in just 19 minutes. But when they got there was nothing. The sea was empty. There was no sign of the Witchcraft, no debris, no oil slick, and no sign of the two men. It was as if the yacht had just been plucked from the water. The Coast Guard launched an intensive 6-day search covering thousands of square miles of ocean and coastline. They found absolutely nothing. Not a single piece of floating debris, not a seat cushion, not a life jacket. Nothing. This is what makes the Witchcraft case so bizarre. The boat was designed to be unsinkable, with watertight compartments and flotation devices that would have kept at least parts of it afloat, even if it were completely swamped. For a boat to vanish so completely, so quickly in calm waters and just a mile from shore is profoundly strange. Experts were stumped. What could have happened in those 19 minutes? So with all these baffling cases, what are the actual explanations? Well, they fall into two main camps, the scientific and the paranormal. Let's start with science. Many experts argue that the Bermuda Triangle is no more dangerous than any other stretch of ocean with similar weather patterns and heavy traffic. The Gulf Stream is a powerful, swift current that can quickly disperse wreckage. The area is also prone to rogue waves, massive, spontaneous walls of water that can easily capsize even large ships. Another popular scientific theory involves methane gas hydrates. The idea is that huge bubbles of methane gas could erupt from the seafloor, creating a frothy, less dense patch of water that could cause a ship to lose buoyancy and sink in seconds. If this gas reached the atmosphere, it could also potentially ignite and destroy an aircraft. Then there's simple human error and mechanical failure, which are often the most likely culprits in any accident. Many pilots and sailors in the Triangle were navigating with less than perfect technology, and a single mistake could be fatal. Now for the paranormal side. Theories here are far more imaginative. Some believe the Triangle is home to a portal or a wormhole to another dimension. Others suggest alien abduction, with UFOs being sighted in the area and allegedly taking ships and planes for unknown purposes. And of course, there's the age-old legend of Atlantis. Some psychics and theorists claim that the lost city lies at the bottom of the Triangle, and its advanced energy crystals are still active, interfering with modern technology and causing instruments to go haywire. So where does that leave us? Are we dealing with a perfect storm of natural phenomena and human error, or is there something truly strange and unexplainable at play in the Bermuda Triangle? The truth is, we still don't know for sure. While scientists have provided plausible explanations for many of the incidents, they don't fully account for everything. They do unexplain the complete lack of wreckage in cases like the Witchcraft or Flight 19. They do unexplain the strange compass malfunctions and feelings of disorientation reported by experienced pilots. For every logical argument, there seems to be a lingering question, a detail that just doesn't fit. The Bermuda Triangle exists in that fascinating gray area between known science and the unknown, between fact and folklore. It's a place where the ordinary rules of our world seem to bend, and it forces us to confront the reality that there are still parts of our planet that we do and fully understand. The mystery endures because the definitive proof, the final piece of the puzzle, remains lost somewhere in the deep, dark waters of the Atlantic. What do you think is the real cause behind these disappearances? Let me know your best theories down in the comments. I'm really curious to see what you all come up with. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. See you next time.